Well, back with the Heart and Hustle podcast, we got Miss Jodi in the building. How you doing, Miss Jodi?
I'm good, thanks.
I'm excited to have this conversation. We had a really good conversation the first time I met you. But for those that do not know who you are, Jodi, if you can let them know what organization, what is your title with the organization?
Sure. So I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Brooklyn Community Services here in Brooklyn, New York.
Come on, Brooklyn. You from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Where's that Brooklyn accent? Born and raised in Brooklyn?
I was not born and raised in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. Where were you born?
Well, I was born in England, but I was raised I was raised on a farm in Kansas. So occasionally it will sometimes slip out.
Really? How did you get from England to Kansas?
Oh, it's a long story. My parents were in the military.
Makes sense. Every time someone tells me something like that, it's usually military.
Yeah.
I just found out my best friend's fiance is from Hawaii. And I'm like, you're born in Hawaii, spent no time there. He was born there, but raised out in Miami. I said, oh, but just imagine Hawaii, Miami. That's a huge difference there. Almost similar to you, Jodi. What brings you to this line of work? I mean, you're in this space of not so much about paychecks, as I always say, but really just chasing that passion and purpose. Let people know what the kind of work you do as well.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think my childhood probably brings me here. I grew up in a community that didn't always have as many resources as it needed. And that kind of got me interested in helping other folks kind of with their struggles.
And when you say the resources, what are some of those resources that you felt were lacked maybe in your community, but that you guys are bringing to the Brooklyn community?
Yeah. Well, it was an impoverished rural area. So folks didn't always have all the things they needed to kind of thrive and be successful in their lives. And I had the good fortune of having folks that kind of gave me chances along the way, opened doors, got me, to my education and to here to Brooklyn. And so I've always kind of felt like it was my obligation to open the doors for the folks that come behind me as a result. And I think that's one of the things really draws me to BCS is that it's the kind of organization that really does kind of open doors for other folks.
How long has BCS been around?
We are celebrating 160 years this year. So
oh my God, a long time.
As long as it's been Brooklyn.
Yeah, that is so crazy. And when we think about just getting into this line of work, it's not easy, right? But you also mentioned just people kind of pouring into you. Do you remember some of those maybe sayings that they were saying to you that made you think like, wait, I'm more than just who I thought I was. I need to kind of tap into that. Do you remember some of those things people were telling you?
I think the first supervisor I ever had said to me, it's always better to work with your mind than your back. And she was somebody who'd worked her whole life with her back. So I took that saying to heart.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's definitely good. I never heard it. But yeah, now that you say it, it definitely truly makes sense. What are you saying to others now? Because now you're pouring into others. What is your saying to someone?
Yeah. Well, also, to recognize the folks along the way who have the ability to open a door for you or give you a chance and to be grateful and thankful for them.
Love it. And you're in a pretty high role now. Did you start boots on the ground and work your way up? What did that look like for you in the organization?
I did. I came to BCS in 2004, working in our family centers. So I'm a social worker by training. So I was working with families who were involved in the child welfare system. And I spent a lot of years doing that, which really gave me a very humbling perspective of the strength and resiliency of the families that come to BCS for help.
So you've been doing this for some time.
I have been.
for a long while, would you say?
Yeah, a long while.
What have you seen change within the organization, especially being there since early, what you said, 2000s, was it?
Yeah. Well, we've definitely grown and expanded and, are working in Brooklyn in ways that we weren't at the time. But I think, the things that change are probably the things that have changed throughout the history of BCS. The needs are growing, that folks come to us with more complex problems, and the resources are stretched further and further.
What are some of the programs you guys offer?
So we offer programs to help folks with educational support, employment, housing, and then health and mental health. Those are our major areas. But within that, we offer more than 50 programs. So we are all over Brooklyn helping folks who are dealing with all different kinds of struggles.
And how does people find this organization? Is this more like they're looking for you? You guys are boots on the ground. There's QR codes throughout Brooklyn. Like, how is someone finding you guys?
Well, If you wander around Brooklyn, you are likely to see one of our signs somewhere.
Love
Um,
it.
in some cases, people walk in and find us off the street. In other cases, people were children when their families came to us for help.
Okay.
We have a generational footprint here. We are, I think, well known among as a place to come to when you really need some help.
And how many individuals are you guys serving on a yearly basis? I mean, an organization this big, been around for this long, can imagine you guys are really making a huge impact in the communities.
Yeah, so we serve about 20,000 people per year across all of our different programs.
Wow. How do you stay engaged with all these people? Is it like just a one stop, they come in, get what they need, or are you guys still always consistently keeping them on top of mind and making sure that they have a place to come to in the time of need?
Yeah. So it really varies by the kinds of help folks need. Some people come to us for a single thing, and then that's it. They go on about their lives. Some folks live in our buildings and have been clients of ours for years and years. We have folks, as I mentioned, that their parents came here when they needed help. We have folks whose grandparents worked for us years and years ago, and so it really just depends on what a person needs. And we're here to start where people are, and see where it goes.
Meet them where they are. That's always what we have to do with people. Is just
Yeah.
meet them where they are. And what does your role look like on a day to day? I mean, I can imagine evolved. At some point you were not doing what you're doing today, but what does your role look like on a day to day,
Yeah.
Jodi?
So currently I oversee all of our administrative operations. So everything finance, human resources, facilities, IT, everything that keeps the programs running from behind the scenes. So my job is really to keep our system strong and supportive so that the folks on the ground don't have to think about the logistics. All they have to think about is the person sitting in front of them.
Do you appreciate being in the C-suite space where you're making even bigger impact? At one point, it was very one-on-one. Now you're running running the show. You got people under you. You're making sure that others are doing the work that you once were doing.
Yeah.
How does that feel like for you?
I think at some point in my career, I realized that my best impact could be about providing the support to people who are doing the work on the ground. And it really does, feel like you have a bigger impact in that way, particularly when you see the good work that folks are doing.
I want to know who Jodi was when she was leaving high school. Was she always a person that was giving and helping others? Like, how did Jodi get into this line of work? This has now been a career for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think I always knew that I wanted to work with folks that felt kind of left behind and forgotten. So from early on, I was working with kids who were in detention, people who needed anonymous HIV tests. Those were kind of some of my first experiences. And then I got to Brooklyn for grad school, and that was really, one of the I have to say luxuries is the right word, but one of the perks of being in Brooklyn is there's a lot of folks doing work like this. So there's lots of
Okay.
opportunities to really get involved in the community.
I was going to ask you, what kept you at Brooklyn? There's something that you love about Brooklyn, not just the opportunity. Is it the people? Is it the opportunities? Is it the
Yeah.
food? What really keeps you at Brooklyn?
Well, this is going to sound insane, but Brooklyn is a small town. And it really, for a town of 8 million people, it has a real small town feel. So there's a
Right.
lot about living in Brooklyn that is very similar to the place that I grew up. The closeness and the interconnectedness of the communities it's a place that feels like home.
Love it. And we're in a place of storytelling, right? As an organization, loves to hear some stories. What are some of the stories that continue to fuel you in the time where you feel maybe exhausted, or am I doing the right thing? But something continues to just kind of play in the back of your mind. Maybe there's a story that you've helped someone, or stories within the organization that you could kind of tell. What are those stories that continue to resonate with you?
Yeah. I think my experiences working with the families in the family center are probably where I get a lot of motivation and inspiration from. Our families were coming in really some of the worst days of their lives. And when they would tell their stories, I was really humbled by their ability to keep
Hmm.
their families together, to get up every day and make life happen, even while they were going through really terrible, difficult times. And I felt like, if these folks can do this, with, often very limited resources and supports in their lives, well, then I have no excuse. There's no reason for me to be sitting back and feeling sorry.
I mean, I hear you. I hear you. What does it look like for someone that, let's say, going through it mentally, just feel like maybe they don't belong, or maybe feeling the weight on their shoulders, and they just need some guidance? What does it look like for me knocking on the door, to getting the assistance?
Yeah. So that's what lots of our clients look like, whether they're coming because they need help, because they're in high school and struggling, or because they don't have housing. They often come kind of in this very low point in their lives where they're really struggling, and feeling like they don't have lots of choices. You come to BCS, and the first thing is that folks you're gonna come into a place that feels welcoming, and that was created for you. And you're going to meet people who both understand the place that you're in and are going to sit down with you and hear your story, hear what you need, and then figure out every way to be able to get you to the next place in your life. Whatever that looks like, whether that's a high school degree, or it's, permanent home for you, or it's stability for your children, whatever that looks like, that's what we're going to work on.
Is there an age range? Or do you guys step up anybody that just comes through the doors?
Pretty much anybody that comes through the doors. We have early childhood education that starts at 3,
Oh,
and we've got senior center programming and our community centers that go till whatever age. I mean, it really is. We're working with people of all ages, families of all shapes and sizes.
do you have a story that you can talk about, without probably expressing any names here, but someone that's used the services, seen the other side, maybe come back as an alumni to really continue to give? Do you have any of those stories that we can tell our audience?
We definitely do. One of our after school teachers, so we have after schools all over East New York and Brownsville. That's some of the, hardest hit neighborhoods in Brooklyn. Our schools have high rates of children who experience homelessness, who
Mhm.
experience food insecurity. One of our after school teachers was a kid 30 years ago when we were just starting out in one of those schools. She went through our elementary program and then, continues to live in the neighborhoods that we serve. And she now has been an after school teacher with us for years, giving back to the same kids that she once was.
Does that make you feel, Jodi, knowing that it's a cycle now? Like, people are not only living it, but coming back to pour back into it.
Yeah. It's one of the things that I think has kept me at BCS this long, is that you could really just walk outside and see the impact of the work that folks do. When I go home, I see it in my neighborhood. I know my neighbors who have received services from BCS. So it feels like the work continues to be very close to the ground, no matter what position, no matter what chair you're sitting in.
Yeah. You got little ones of your own?
I do. I have 3.
What do they think of mom doing this work?
So my oldest was a year old when I came here. So BCS has been an integral part of their lives. They have, they show up at events, they come to the office, people see them around and know them. BCS is as much of a part of their lives as it is mine.
I love it. And what do you tell them about just, I have young ones, and I feel like I'm in this work and I can't wait for them to really be a part of it. I don't take them. They're still too young, right? They're just going to make a lot of noise, if anything, and run around. I don't have time to chase them at that moment. But what do you want them to know about serving people? I think there's something amazing in that, giving to others, even when sometimes we don't have, right? Sometimes when we're struggling, it's still about helping the next individual, because it's really not about us, especially in this line of work. What would you like your kids to kind of take away from all the work that you've been doing, Jodi?
Yeah. I feel like it's been important for me to teach them about being involved with their neighbors and their community, how important that is, whether they're doing nonprofit kind of mission-driven work or they're out there chasing a paycheck, whatever it is wherever they find themselves in life,
Yeah.
but that how important it is to be connected to the community that you're part of. And that means really like giving a hand to other folks who need it, because it always comes back. It never, you never stop receiving something from that gift for, as long as it goes. So it's no matter where you are in your own life, being able to give back to others, it doesn't have to be financially. It's often
Yep.
support or just, visibility. I see you and I see what you're going through and I'm here too, is, it it doesn't just give to that person, it gives back to you as well.
100%. I always say the work that we do because we help others, it really fills our cup. Not so much fills our wallets, but it fills our cup, right, Jodi? No, just joking. What is your kids teaching you? I think there's lessons should be learned as a parent when we have these young kids that are very different than who we are, right? Technology is very different. I can imagine you're learning a lot from them to this day, Jodi. What are you learning from your own kids? What have they taught you?
Yeah, patience for sure.
Number one, patience.
Yeah. But also to kind of have respect and honor for the person, who that person is, right? I have 3 boys and they are all extremely different and sometimes hard to understand how they came from me. But to recognize like their own personhood, no matter whether I understand it or not, to just kind of make space for it.
Love that. What is Jodi's legacy? When we think about legacy, are you even thinking that far? Or are you just going with the flow nowadays, Jodi?
I don't know if I'm thinking that far, but I hope that folks remember something. Remember that I was an ear for somebody who needed it, or a hand up that opened a door for them and made an opportunity possible. But that along the way that I did something that stands out for them.
Who was the ear for you? I mean, you talked about being an ear for others. Who was listening to you at the times where maybe the imposter syndrome was very loud, the noise was loud? Who was that person that was saying, Jodi, you got this, girl. Don't give up on yourself.
Yeah, I feel like I've been really lucky to work from some great supervisors who, if nothing else, taught me to believe that I could do it, that I wasn't entirely faking it, that there was some, there was something there.
What do you say to the young Jodi that maybe wasn't as confident as she is today, that was still trying to find herself? I think now, Jodi, talking to you, I could tell there was a little bit more of you being just you, right? Authentic you. I think there's nothing better than just being truly yourself. But as we kind of grow through those ropes of leadership, we, as you mentioned, sometimes maybe have to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Maybe put on a mask that we don't really like to wear. But what do you tell that young Jodi?
Yeah, I think that you're gonna be just fine. It's gonna all work out in the end, and that there's absolutely no reason to be worried about it now.
Yeah, you got siblings of your own? Only child?
I do. I have a younger brother.
Oh, so you're really setting the standard. What do you think about their sister doing this work?
I think that he's probably not surprised because I grew up bossing him around. So leading others probably doesn't surprise him in the slightest.
So it's only you and your brother?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have, how far apart?
He's a year and a half younger than me.
Okay, got it. I see my daughter and son, and my daughter is the oldest, and I can see her bossing him around. I think it's the funniest thing. They're always fighting. I guess that's just what good family does, right?
Yeah.
No, it's cool to just know that you have that relationship with him. That I can imagine he really does appreciate you. The work that we do, Jodi, it is so hard, to be quite frank, because I don't know that you ever turn it off. And if you do, what are you doing to turn it off, Jodi? Like, what is that thing that brings you peace and just allows you to really kind of separate yourself from the 9 to 5?
Yeah. I probably don't turn it off that much, to be honest.
I hear. I'm the same way. No worries.
Yeah. But I also feel like I'm not a different person in different places. So, what you see with me at work, that's who I am at home also. It's who I am with my friends and people I care about. So I think, there is some benefit in not having to put on different masks in different places.
Go
But
ahead.
I think
I was gonna ask, what does Jodi like to do? Even if you don't turn it off, what is the thing that Jodi loves to do that people probably don't know she does?
what do I love to do that people don't know about?
Are you planting in your garden? Are you
I
sitting by the water? What are you doing?
I am a wannabe green thumb. I'm not sure that my plants would agree that I am actually a green thumb, but there is something that I really enjoy from being able to grow something, anything, little measly stick. But yeah,
I
I do get a lot from that.
My wife has got into it, finding herself, trying to figure out what it is. She's been a stay-at-home mom now for 6 years. And she said, I'm going to start planting. And I'm usually the one inside with all the plants. And probably at this point in addiction because I have about 50 of them. And she said, I'm going to start outside. And I said, all right, whatever. I got sunflowers that are 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's like, oh my gosh, I've never grown something this big. And it's just so cool to see her find something that brings her peace. And now I now actually have a huge garden out front. And now we're growing crops. I got carrots that she didn't grew and basil and all that. So it's actually, it's cool. It is really rewarding when you're able to see something like a plant. I always kind of bring it back to life where maybe they're not thriving, but as soon as you change that environment and you change their pot, they really start to thrive. And it's like kind of the work that you're in, right? Do people
Yeah.
come in? Maybe they're not in the right, pots. Maybe they're not in the right spaces, and
Yeah.
they don't know what they don't know. But with a little bit of watering, a little bit of change of environment, they really start to flourish. Have you ever thought about life in that perspective?
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even a change of environment. It's just like a little bit of extra, right? Like
Mm,
little extra sun, a little extra water, a
yeah.
little extra care. And that, kind of gets somebody through to the next step.
I love it. Yeah, no, for sure. When we talk about programs, I know you mentioned that there was a lot of them. What are those that maybe are underutilized that you guys offer and people don't really tap into?
Hmm. Um, well, I don't know if we have programs that are underutilized. I think we have some programs that folks, um, maybe don't know as much about. We have community centers in several neighborhoods that are places of safety for folks that live like in niche developments, where kids can get in the evening and play some games and kind of be in a place where their parents can feel safe and secure that they're being taken care of, but also that they're getting, some extra. They're getting good snacks, they're getting some mentorship, they're getting, some support around things that they might be going through. We have a high school that helps kids that have fallen behind. So a lot of our kids are maybe they're parenting themselves or their families have been displaced and it's been hard for them to attend school. And so our high school helps them catch up on those credits, get a job, kind of plan for the future. One of my favorite programs is our shower bus program. So this is a mobile hygiene service. It's literally a bus that has 2 full bathrooms. We take it on the road all around Brooklyn to where folks might be living in encampments or on the street for other reasons. We bring them medical services, food, clean clothing, mental health resources, and really, most importantly, a shower.
Mm,
Where for places for folks who just don't have access to being able to care for themselves in that way.
that's cool. Is this something that you guys like on a weekly show up to the same places? Is someone that is texting, calling in? How do they get
We
in
have
the service?
we have 5 locations we go to every week. So yeah, people that way folks can find us, right? So we're particularly targeting people who might not have the ability to look up a service or have internet access or easy ways to be able to find the things they need. So we show up in the same place every week so they know where to find us.
Wow. And how is communication with you guys? Is it only via email? Can someone text in, call? Like, what does that look like?
Do you mean for our service?
Yeah, yeah. If someone wants to,
Yeah.
maybe even just engage, maybe it's not even services, but it's a volunteer, it's a donor that just wants to figure out how can they be involved. Because I can imagine that you guys support all at all, right? You want to support those volunteers that want to be a part, want to support the donors. How does
Yeah.
someone really communicate with you guys?
So you can find us you can find us at wearebcs.org. Has all kinds of opportunities for folks whether they need our help or they want to work with us, they want to partner with us, they want to volunteer, they want to support initiative that we've got going on. You can find all kinds of information about us on our website.
Love it. Are you guys on social media or anything?
We are. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Threads. Yeah, you can find We Are BCS.
It's so funny you say threads, and it's like I sometimes forget that there's that exists as well. There's so many of them,
Yeah.
but that you say threads is just hilarious. I love it. I really appreciate it, Jodi, all the information you've given us today. But ask you one question: if you had a magic wand to change something today within your organization for the better, what would that be?
Oh, I think one of the things that I would want to change better is how we are supporting our workforce. as I mentioned, our resources get stretched further and further every year, which means we have folks who are coming here doing really hard work for sometimes what look like poverty wages themselves. And so myself and our other executives fight to increase the way that we get paid for this work so that we could pay our folks better. And so if there was one thing I could change, it would be the ability to pay them what they're actually worth, what the impact that they make on our communities should actually be worth.
Jodi, I thank you so much for your time, for all the knowledge you've given us. I know you don't do this often, but I always appreciate when another leader like yourself can just kind of tell us what's happening in your communities. I always go back to the conversation I had with my mom at 30 years old, and she says, I did the best I could of what I knew. And Jodi, you guys have a huge amounts of different programs where people could really educate themselves, really change their lives, really move their lives in a different direction that they didn't think was possible. All because, Jodi, you stepped up and said yes to this work. I mean, it's not just you; it's obviously the team that has also kind of been part of this for, you said, 160 years. Like, this is truly legacy, and you are a part of that, Jodi. So we thank you. And for those that are still watching, those that are still listening, make sure that you guys go ahead and check out the website, check out the socials. Jodi, can they find you doing anything there? Maybe a little dance, or what who can find Jodi doing in these?
Occasionally they put up stuff about me without letting me know, so I don't know exactly.
Oh man,
You might
that's
find
probably
me on there.
because you're so humble. All right, because I think we had this conversation when I met you the first time. You're just so humble that you don't like to talk about yourself, Jodi, but you are truly, I can imagine, a pillar for this organization on
Thanks.
why it's where it's at today. So thank you for your work. Continue to do amazing work. I'm Efrain. This is Jodi. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.